Thank you. Okay, Assalamu alaikum students, are you listening me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, sir. Walaikum assalam.
Okay, my dear students, so today we are going to start with one of the very important topic, that is the preparation of the salts. Okay. So yesterday we have done with the solubility of the salts. There were two types of the salts, soluble and insoluble. The soluble salts, they dissolve in water. Insoluble, they are remains insoluble in water. And I've told you the key, all nitrates, they are soluble. Okay. Most halides being group 7 elements. Their salts, they are mostly soluble except for slow learner man, silver, lead, and mercury. So silver, lead, and mercury, if they are attached with the halogens, they are insoluble. Just like that, most sulfates, they are soluble except for low blood cholesterol, lead, barium, and calcium. Okay. So these lead sulfate, barium sulfate, and the last one, calcium sulfate, they are insoluble. And just like that, most carbonates, they are insoluble except for KNN, potassium, sodium, and ammonium. So these carbonates, they are only soluble. So today, my dear, we are.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Okay, my dear, today we are going to start with the preparation of salts. So whenever you want to prepare the salt, first of all, you should keep remember whether the salt is insoluble, okay, or the salt that is soluble. So first of all, whenever a salt is given to you, okay, so what you have to do, my dear, so you have to keep in mind, you have to think about the solubility of the salt. I have given you the chart by which you can find out the solubility
Assalamu
of the
alaikum, sir.
salt. Yes, beta.
No, sir, I said assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Okay, so if you want to prepare a salt, first of all, you should know its solubility. The preparation of insoluble salt, the method is entirely different. And the preparation of soluble salt, the method that is entirely different. Okay, so if you want to prepare an insoluble salt, one method is only used, which is called as the precipitation method. Okay, and if you want to prepare the soluble salt, there are the two methods which should be used. The first method, that is called as the titration method, and the second one, that is called as the crystallization method. Keep remember, the soluble salts can be prepared by the reaction of the acids. I have told you acids have got the 4 reactions. Acid can react with the 4 substances. What are they? The first, acid could react with the metal, okay, and as a result you are going to get salt plus hydrogen. The second thing, acid could react with the metal oxide, and as a result you are going to get salt plus water. Acid, it could react with the metal hydroxide, and as a result you are going to get salt plus water. Acid, it could react with the metal carbonate, and as a result you are going to get salt plus carbon dioxide, plus water. So these four reactions of the acids with the metal oxide, metal hydroxide, and metal carbonate, all of them they produce a salt. And the salt produced up here, that is the soluble salt. But the two methods for these preparation they are being used. The first one, that is the titration method, and the second one, that is called as the crystallization method. So we will discuss these two methods separately, titration method and the second one, that is the crystallization method. I'm going to repeat this stuff. Whenever you want to prepare a salt, first of all, you should know the solubility of the salt. Salt may be insoluble or may be soluble. You have to think the solubility according to the chart I have provided you. The insoluble salt could be prepared by a method which is called as the precipitation method, whereas the soluble salts they could be prepared by the two methods, titration and crystallization. Some soluble salts are prepared by titration method and some soluble salts are prepared by crystallization method. Okay, but the soluble salts they always use these reactions of the acids. Acids could react with metal oxide, metal hydroxide, and metal carbonate. As a result, salt is produced, which is a soluble salt. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. If you have written it, can I rub it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, beta. Now everybody stop writing. Don't write anything. You can take a screenshot because after making you people understand, I'm gonna give you different salts and you have to prepare it. And you have to use almost the same language, the same process I'm going to tell you. Okay. So first of all, we are going to start with the preparation of insoluble salts. Okay. So preparation of insoluble salts. The preparation of insoluble salt could be carried out by a process which is called as the precipitation method. Okay. Only one method is used which is called as the precipitation. Okay, my dear students. Now please everybody stop writing and just listen it carefully. I'm going to say you again and again. Just listen it. Okay, I'm going to give you a salt whose name is lead 2 sulfate. First of all, you should make the formula of lead 2 sulfate. Lead 2. Lead symbol is Pb plus 2 and sulfate SO4 minus 2 plus minus cancel 2 cancel. So its formula that is PbSO4. So you want to prepare PbSO4 lead sulfate. Now, if we want to prepare it, first of all, we have to think about its solubility. Solubility के rule पे चले जाएं. I have told you that most sulfates are soluble except for low blood cholesterol, lead, barium, and calcium. So lead sulfate, it's an insoluble salt. Okay. So first point you have to write, lead sulfate is insoluble salt and could be prepared by a method which is called as the precipitation method. If you write this thing, you will get 1 mark. Because in your papers, a question of 4 marks come in your paper 2 or normally paper 4. And what he does in those papers, he is going to write the language, write down the preparation of pure dry sample of lead 2 sulfate. Okay. So this is the question he is going to provide you in the 4 marks question. So the 1 mark is, first of all, you have to think about the solubility. Okay, so this is the sulfate. So think about the solubility of sulfate. Most sulfates are soluble except for low blood cholesterol, lead, barium, calcium. So lead sulfate is insoluble. So it could be prepared by a method which is called as the precipitation method. Is it clear? Okay, now move towards the next thing. To make you people understand what I am going to do, I am going to take the 2 test tubes up here. Okay, these are the 2 test tubes. In the first test tube, what I am going to do, I am going to take a salt in which lead is present, and that salt is some soluble salt. Okay, so I have to think about a salt which contain lead inside it and it is soluble. I have told you in the solubility rule that all nitrates are soluble. So with the first thing, you could put the nitrates. So lead nitrate you can take up here. Mostly, in most of the cases, if you forget everything, what you do, if you want to prepare the insoluble salt, the first thing nitrate could be taken up here. It's not necessary. Sometimes you can take the halide, lead chloride, but lead chloride is also insoluble. You can't take it. Sometimes, like if barium sulfate is given, barium chloride, that is soluble. You can take the barium chloride. But I suggest you the first thing nitrate should be taken up here. Okay, so lead nitrate you should take up here. So how could you make the formula of lead nitrate? Lead Pb plus 2 nitrate, that is NO3 minus 1. So what the formula you got? Plus minus cancelled. 1 will come up here, 2 will come up here. So the formula that will be formed Pb NO3 whole twice. Okay, so these plus minus would be cancelled. These are the 2 different things. 1 will come at the base of this one, 2 will come at the base of this one. These 2 are the capital words, so you put a bracket and then put 2. Put bracket and put 2. So this is your lead nitrate. It's a soluble salt. So you should write aqueous. The word AQ mean aqueous mean it's soluble in the water. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The next thing, in the second test tube, you have to take a salt which is soluble and it contains SO4 inside it. Soluble salt. And if you are unable to get a salt which is soluble having sulfate, you can take acid which contains SO4. Okay. So keep remember, my dear student, any metal sulfate who is soluble, you can take sodium sulfate, you can take magnesium sulfate, because only 3 sulfates are insoluble. Low blood cholesterol, lead, barium, calcium, these are only insoluble. You can take any other metal, iron sulfate, magnesium sulfate, okay, you can take potassium sulfate, you can take ammonium sulfate, anything you can take except for low blood cholesterol, lead, barium, calcium. Okay, if you forget anything, keep remember potassium, sodium, and ammonium. So anything containing potassium, sodium, and ammonium, all the salts of potassium, sodium, and ammonium are soluble. So you can join this second thing with potassium, with sodium, or with ammonium. That's your choice. Okay. So let's suppose I'm going to take potassium. Okay. So K plus 1 SO4, that is minus 2. Okay. So I'm going to rub this one up here. So K plus 1 SO4, that is minus 2. So what would be the formula? Minus plus cancel, 2 will come up here, 1 will come up here. So it would become K2SO4. So that is also aqueous. This is the soluble salt. It's not necessary that you should write the salt only. You can write the acid in which SO4 is present, H2SO4. You can take the H2SO4 as well. You got it? So keep remember, my dear students, The first point, whenever you want to prepare a salt, don't be in hurry. First of all, you have to think about its solubility from the solubility chart I have provided you. Okay, think, is it soluble or insoluble? The insoluble salt could be prepared by a single method which is called as the precipitation method. The second step, this is lead sulfate. You can take anything which is soluble and has lead inside it. So nitrates of all things are soluble. So the first thing, nitrate should be taken, lead nitrate. You can make the formula. And the second thing, join it with potassium, sodium or ammonium. Okay, potassium sulfate, dry potassium sulfate. You got it? Is it clear, my dear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
what should you do? You should mix the mixture of these two things in a beaker. Mix them together. So what would happen when you mix them together? They will react. How they will react? The positive of this thing will react with the negative of this thing. They will react together. Plus minus cancelled, 2 cancelled. So you will get PbSO4. So this is insoluble salt. So write solid at the base of this one. Because insoluble thing that is insoluble, that will form the precipitate. So it is in solid form. It is not aqueous. Okay. And then join the positive of this thing with the negative of this one. So this one would be K plus 1, NO3 minus 1. Plus minus cancel, 1 cancel. So it would be KNO3. So this is soluble. So write aqueous up here. Okay. So there are 2K and 2NO3. So write 2 up here. So this is your equation. The second mark that is of equation. So 1 mark to write precipitation methods. Don't make this whole stuff. I just make this stuff to make you people understand. The second step to write the equation. Okay. This is the second mark. Now, the next thing is very interesting. And everybody just focus up here, beta. Okay, guys. So this is your equation. Okay. So if you want to make the Ionic equation, in most of the paper, they ask you make the Ionic equation. So how could you make the Ionic equation? I'm going to tell you a method which is called as the simplest method. In our Urdu or Punjabi language, we say it as a Desi method. I'm telling you a Desi method for making the Ionic equation, and then tell you the proper technical method to make the Ionic equation. So you can use any of the method, the results would be same. Okay. Now have a look up here. First of all, we are going to start with a simple method, Desi method. Okay. Have a look at this equation. Just find out anything which is solid, liquid or gas in the whole equation. So this thing is solid. Okay. If liquid, L would be written. If gas, G would be written with it. Okay. So this is solid. So just write down this thing, PbSO4 solid. Okay. And make the ions of these two things, Pb, that is +2, and write aqueous. And the second thing, SO4, that is -2 aqueous. So this is the Ionic equation by means of a simplest method. You got it, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Now, technically, how could you make this is the Ionic equation which is formed. Technically, if this is the equation, if you want to make the Ionic equation, what should you do? The things which are aqueous, make their ions only. Pb, that is +2. NO3, that is -1. This is aqueous, K +1. SO4 -2. Write down the valencies of all the things which contain aqueous inside it. So this is K +1, NO3, that is -1. Don't make the ions of solid, liquid or gas. Now just cut down the ions which are present on both sides. NO3 minus 1, here NO3 minus 1, that would be cut. Okay, K plus 1, this is K plus 1, this is cut. This is 2K, this is also 2K. Now what the thing is left behind, PP plus 2, PP plus 2, SO4 minus 2, SO4 minus 2, and PbSO4, PbSO4. So the same equation you people are going to get. You got it, guys? So always
Yes.
keep remember, whenever you want to make the ionic equation, the method is very simple. Just make the ions of those things which are aqueous, which are soluble in water. Don't make the ion of solid, liquid, or gas. Okay, just make the ions, cut the ions present on both sides. Okay, and whatever the ions left and whatever the thing left up here, just write it up. That will be the ionic equation. Is it clear? Now, this is of 1 mark. So 1 mark is for this, 1 mark is for this. Now 2 marks are left. 2 marks is to write down its description. Its description I'm going to write down a description up here. So you have to learn that description. Okay, only change the reagents, the things which are going to react together, just change their names. Okay, and all of the other thing that is same. So you will get the 2 marks for that. So overall total 4 marks. So I'm going to write down the description up here. Okay. So mix aqueous. The first thing is lead nitrate. Lead nitrate in, this is potassium sulfate, in aqueous potassium sulfate. Till a precipitate is formed. This is the first point. The next point, write down the name of the precipitate. The precipitate that is lead sulfate, PbSO4. Okay. The second point, filter the precipitate, PbSO4. Then wash the precipitate. You should write the whole word precipitate. I'm just going to write in a small words, PPT. You should write whole of these things. Wash the precipitate with distilled water so that the soluble impurities will wash away. And the last point, dry in hot oven. So these are the 4 points, my dear. So you have to use the same language, but the only difference lies the equation and the name of these things. Okay, you just change the names of these things. Otherwise, all the description that would remain same, and that description that is of 2 marks. So 1, 1, 2, and 2, 4. So you will get the 4 marks for it. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Now you can take the screenshot of it. Can I rub it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
1 minute. Sir.
Okay, now I'm going to give you different insoluble salts and you have to write down their preparation. Firstly, you have to think about the solubility and tell me insoluble precipitation method. The second thing, make equation. Don't draw these things. Equation, then ionic equation, and then this description. If you are stuck at some place, don't hesitate to ask me. Don't hesitate. Okay. So I will make you people understand. Practice will make you perfect now. Okay. But please, everybody should practice it. Always keep remember for insoluble salt, the first thing nitrate should be taken. Take the first thing and join it with the nitrate like that. Make the formula. And the second thing, take potassium, sodium, or ammonium, or take any acid for the second thing. Make the equation, make ionic equation, and then write down whole of this description. Okay, can I wrap it, beta?
Yes, sir. सर प्रिपरेशन का सिर्फ लिखना है, रिएक्शन का तो नहीं ना लिखना उसमें कोई भी?
क्या मतलब रिएक्शन का क्या?
मतलब रिएक्शन उसका जो है उसके साथ पोटेशियम सल्फेट के।
नहीं तो वो लिखा तो है यार, ये लिखा तो है aqueous potassium sulfate. What is this?
Okay, sir.
Okay, my dear. Now what you have to do, I'm going to give you the second salt. That is silver chloride. And its formula, that is AgCl. And if you want to ask me the valencies, Ag that is +1, Cl that is -1. Okay. So write down its description. I'm going to give you 5 minutes for it. 5 minutes दे रहा हूँ. Hurry up. Just 5 minutes. Everyone should try, beta.
सर सॉल्युबल सॉल्ट हम कोई भी ले लेंगे?
Yes, my dear. वो soluble salt लेने हैं जिसमें वो चीज आ रही हो, वैसी नहीं उठा लेना भाई.
जिसमें Ag आ रहा हो?
जी सर, जिसमें Ag आ रहा हो, फिर जिसमें क्लोराइड आ रहा हो, वही दोनों soluble salt उठाने हैं ना.
Sir, done.
Done? Who has done it?
Yes. Sir,
Hamdan.
Hamdan.
Okay, Hamdan, that's very wonderful, beta. Okay, let me know. Hamdan has done it. Hamdan, first of all, tell me about its solubility. Tell me about from the solubility chart. Yes.
Sir, silver chloride is insoluble.
Okay. Silver chloride, it's an insoluble salt. So which method we could use?
Sir, precipitation.
Thank you so much. So insoluble. So you can use precipitation method. Okay, the second step, you will get 1 mark for it. Now make the equation.
Sir, Ag3 NO3.
Good. AgNO3. Join the first thing silver with the nitrate. So Ag that is +1, NO3 that is -1. Plus minus cut. So AgNO3 you should write aqueous at the base of it. Okay. Second thing.
Sir, aqueous potassium chloride.
Potassium chloride aqueous. Okay. So the second thing is chloride. So you can take potassium K +1 and Cl that is -1. So KCl. So when you mix them together, what the thing you will get?
Sir, we will get AgCl solid.
AgCl solid. Join the positive to the negative of the other thing. AgCl that is solid because it is insoluble. And then
Sir, KNO3 aqueous.
KNO3 that is aqueous. That's wonderful, my dear. Now what is the ionic equation?
Sir, Ag plus aqueous.
Ag plus aqueous.
Sir, plus Cl negative aqueous.
Okay.
AgCl solid.
Perfect. And what is the description of it?
Sir, mix aqueous silver nitrate with aqueous potassium chloride until a precipitate is formed. Sir, filter the precipitate and the precipitate with distilled water so that the soluble impurities will wash away and dry in hot oven.
Perfect हो गया. Very good beta. Wonderful. Clapping for Hamdan. Very good. शाबाश. Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Clapping तो कर दो यार. तुम लोग सोए हुए हो वैसे ही कर रहे हो. तुम लोग कर दो clapping. Physically तो बैठे हैं.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
बिल्कुल ठीक है बेटा. HCl could be taken. आपका ठीक था बेटा? आपका दोनों का. Yes, my dear. Anyone has got the confusion in it? I can repeat it for you. Guys.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, now I'm going to give you 5 salts जिनकी प्रिपरेशन आप लोगों ने घर से करनी है और एक की एक अभी करो, बाकी 4 की आप लोगों ने घर से करनी है. The first thing that is calcium carbonate. The second thing that is barium sulfate. The third thing that is lead chloride. The fourth thing that is magnesium carbonate. And the next thing that is calcium sulfate. तो ये पहली जो है वो आप लोग मुझे अभी करके दिखाओ जी. बाकी ये 4 आप लोगों ने घर से करनी है. और प्लीज इसको जरूर प्रैक्टिस कीजिएगा. प्रैक्टिस विल मेक यू पीपल परफेक्ट इन इट. एक बच्चे को प्रॉब्लम थी, मुझसे मोल्स का क्वेश्चन उसने पूछा हुआ था. कौन था अभी?
Yes, sir, मैं था.
मुनीब तू था?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा मुनीब जरा मुझे मैसेज तूने भेजा है बल्कि. इज इट?
Yes, sir, भेजा था अभी. क्लास से 1 मिनट पहले भेजा था.
ओके जी, ये मुनीब ने हमें एक क्वेश्चन भेजा था बेटे. सो वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस इट. मुनीब ये मैं आपको समझा रहा हूँ, आपके साथ स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ. बाकी लोग प्रिपरेशन लिखते जाओ भी जरा. ओके मुनीब, ये क्वेश्चन विजिबल है आपके सामने?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to read the question and then we are going to start the answer. अच्छा जी, क्वेश्चन हमारा है जी, a student adds 10 cm cube, this is the volume, this one sulfuric acid, so this is sulfuric acid in excess of magnesium. So first of all you should write down the equation Mg plus H2SO4. What is the equation? MgSO4 plus H2, this is the equation. So sulfuric acid concentration and volume is given. So volume that is 10 cm cube and concentration that is 0.2 mole per dm cube. So first of all you should make the mole of it. The formula you should use, mole is equal to concentration into volume divided by 1000. It's not for everyone. It is only for Munipur Rahman, because he asked me that question. All the other students, they should practice their calcium carbonate. Okay, Munib, just put the values inside it. That is 0.2 times 10 divided by 1000. So what the answer you got, beta?
0.002.
0.002. So these are the moles. Okay, so it's mole, they are 0.002. so this is having 1:1. So hydrogen also has got the mole 0.002. Okay, so these are the moles of the hydrogen. Now the question he is asking, which acid solution will give twice the volume of hydrogen? So the moles of hydrogen, they should be doubled. 0.002 से डबल हो जाने चाहिए हाइड्रोजन के. ठीक है जी, तो हम चेक करके देखते हैं कि किसमें डबल हो सकते हैं. Okay, now let's start with the first thing, hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is HCl. So Mg, when it react with the HCl, it is going to form MgCl2 plus H2. Just balance it up. Chlorine 2 है, इधर भी 2 आ जाएगा. So this is the balanced equation. HCl has got the volume 20 and concentration that is 2. Make the mole of it. What are the moles? 0.004, is it?
0.004. Yes,
So
sir.
this is 2:1. 2:1. This is 0.004. So this one would be X. So this one would be 0.002. So these are the same number of moles of the hydrogen. So it means the volume would be same. So this won't be your answer. You got it?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now do the next one. Do with sulfuric acid. Again, you get Mg plus H2SO4. So you will get MgSO4 plus H2. So H2SO4 now 20 and 0.1. So this is volume 20, concentration 0.1. So 0.002,
0.002.
1:1. This is again 0.002. So the same number of moles, so the same volume. So this won't be your answer as well. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now do this hydrochloric acid. So Mg plus 2HCl is going to form MgCl2 plus H2. Okay, so hydrochloric acid, that is volume 40, concentration 0.2. So the moles, they are 0.008. So this is 2:1. So 2:1, this is 0.008. This is X cross multiplied. So it would be 0.004. So these are the double the moles of these things. So see, that would be your answer.
Yes, sir. See here.
See है. आगे
Yes,
क्वेश्चन
sir.
बेटा मैं पढ़ नहीं रहा था, जल्दी से उसको मैं मतलब दैट्स व्हाई मैंने आपको कहा था कि आप समझ लेना. You got it now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, anyone who has done this calcium carbonate, please let me know. किसी ने कर लिया है?
Yes, sir.
सर
कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट बेटा.
Sir, कर लिया.
सर CO3 पे चार्ज क्या होगा?
-2 यार, क्या हो गया? CO3 that is -2. हमदान अभी किसी और को बोलने दे यार. Yes, जिजा, you tell me.
ओके सर. सर पहले CA को आप ज्वाइन करेंगे NO3 के साथ.
No.
तो C
No. First of all, tell me, is it soluble or
yes,
insoluble?
it is insoluble
Tell me
because
about
of
the
CO3.
solubility rules of the carbonates. Most
So it is
carbonates are insoluble except for K
insoluble
and
except
N,
for low
potassium,
blood.
sodium, and ammonium. So calcium carbonate, that is insoluble. Now tell me its equation.
CaCO3.
CaCO3. You want to prepare CaCO3, beta?
Oh, sorry. Ca
Ca.
NO3 twice
Perfect. CaNO3 twice aqueous, and then
plus K2
K2CO3, that is also
CO3
aqueous. And what you get?
plus CaCO3
CaCO3, that is solid, and KNO3, that is aqueous. Okay. Now make its ionic equation.
Ca plus 2
Aqueous.
CO3 minus 2.
CO3 minus 2 aqueous. So you will get CaCO3 solid. Now tell me its description.
mix aqueous calcium in aqueous
Calcium
carbonate.
nitrate. Calcium nitrate.
Mix aqueous calcium nitrate with potassium carbonate.
Aqueous
Till
potassium carbonate. Why aqueous?
aqueous potassium carbonate till a precipitate is formed. Precipitate calcium carbonate. Filter the precipitate, then wash the precipitate with distilled water so that the soluble impurities will wash away, and then we dry it in oven.
Perfect. Okay, my dear students, take a screenshot of it. You have to prepare these 4 salts from your home. Okay. So that's it for today. Have a nice time. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
मैं तीसरी दफा पढ़ रही हूँ बच्चों की